Ladies and gentlemen, the Revue has opened its doors for 45 years. This is our 45th year operating business, and we could only have done so with these kindly gentlemen and, of course, you, the lovely people who have supported us over the years. Give yourselves a round of applause. This Revue, it's an institution, and any strong institution definitely needs solid pillars to stand on. This gentleman is definitely one of them. In the business for over 25 years, and he needs no introduction. Coming to do for us a lovely number called Mr. Big. Some of you might know the name Eric Taylor. Everyone knows the name. The Pink. The Pink. Panther.
Good morning. Check, testing. Just making sure the microphone working. You see, I'm singing a song with plenty importance, so I don't want nothing to interrupt my performance. You see, the other day I went down my manning to find out who is this man behind the bombing. He say, Panther, I don't want to get sued, so the most I could do for you is give you a clue. If you see a man in KFC and you find he acting suspiciously, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Or if you see a man by the treasury looking at it longingly, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And this ain't no joke, let me tell you frank. If a man have coke in his water tank, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if you see a man with a travel agency with a wicked price for Germany,
Mr. Big.
that is Mr. Big.
Mr.
And if you see a man with a white wig,
that's Mr. Big.
I told her and I said, listen, Mr. Patrick, could you be a little more specific? You see, Carnival is just round the corner, and I really want to sing something on this bomber. You see, Panther boy, there is a big difference between information and evidence. And although I know you are one of us, there are certain things we cannot discuss. But anytime you see a counselor trying to make conquer with a minister, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if you see a pastor with a big estate standing in front of a magistrate, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if a man tell you he don't want to bail, he rather they ride the tail in jail, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Or if you hear a man in Montano crying on the radio, that's
Mr. Big.
that is Mr. Big.
Mr.
And if you
Big.
see the man with the white wig,
that's Mr. Big. Mr. Big. Mr. Big. Mr. Big. That's Mr. Big.
I said, listen boss, I ain't trying to make comments, but could you at least give me his address? Is he from the town? Is he from the country? Where does Mr. Big reside? Please tell me. You see, Panther boy, I can't say for certain. I don't know exactly where he living. Sometimes he in north, sometimes he in south. Boy, this Mr. Big does me all about. But if you see a man in parliament looking for small talk and argument, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if you see a man he broken this week and next week he living like a sheik, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if you see a man walking with a limp and he bank account bigger than the blimp, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if you see a sprinter named Ato Bolden running with a rising sun,
Mr. Big. Mr. Big. That's Mr. Big.
The pink, Panther.
Mr. Big. Mr. Big. Mr. Big.
thank you.
Mr. Big. That's Mr. Big.
From the time he dropped the first bomb by marriage, just like Oliver, the man is still at large. So well done by Smokey and Bunky. People drinking beers, but they're still uneasy. I hear they say for carnival coming, they hear jumping up near no dustbin. Boy, this Mr. Big have we in a fizz. So I'm begging the boss to please tell me who he is. So if you meet a man named Von and Paul and you find he ain't making sense at all, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Or if you catch a man trying to pull a string for them to free Dr. Narayan Singh, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if you see a man on a chicken farm trying to raise a false alarm, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And if you see a Calypsonian from the UNC fighting to come and sing with we,
Mr. Big. Mr. Big. That's
pink.
Mr. Big.
The pink, Panther.
Mr. Big. Mr. Big. Mr. Big.
Thank you.
Mr. Big. That's Mr. Big.
Asking man in question after question, but to everyone he respond with caution. Trying all kind of different psycho, but them kind of thing I working with Pato. I say give me Mr. Big phone number. Well, that and all he refused to answer. Or what really give me a shock of my life is when I ask, does Mr. Big have a wife? You say if you see a woman in Siparia taking some pipe from Ganga, that's Mrs. Big.
Mrs. Big.
And if you see an Indian woman in Poison Band whining just like an African,
Mrs. Big.
and anytime you go by Spectacular and you see a woman they call Beulah, that's Mrs. Big.
Mrs. Big.
And if a woman making child for a Jamaican and she tell you plain she ain't want husband, that's Mrs. Big.
Mrs. Big. Mrs. Big. That's Mr. Big.
The pink, Panther.
Mr. Big. Mr. Big. Mr. Big. Mr. Big. That's Mr. Big.
Check, testing. Just making sure the microphone working. You see, you're singing a song with plenty importance, so I don't want nothing to interrupt my performance. You see, the other day I went down my manning to find out who is this man behind the bombing. He said, Panther, I don't want to get sued, so the most I could do for you is give you a clue. If you see a man in KFC and you find he acting suspiciously, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Or if you see a man by the treasury looking at it longingly, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
And this ain't no joke, let me tell you frank. If a man have coke in his water tank,
Mr. Big.
and if you see a lawyer named Gillian fighting a case for Franklin Tan, that's Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
That is Mr. Big.
Mr.
And if you
Big.
see a man with a white wig,
That's Mr. Big.
love you. Yes. Yeah, man. Thank you very much.